Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carl Prusa MMA. Today with a special guest. My guest today is getting ready, fighting in the main event against Richie Lewis of CFFC 145, August 30th. He is Mr. Top Prospect, Mr. Benny Orozco. Benny, what's up, my friend? How are you?
Good, good. How you doing?
Good, man. You know, some pretty cool news came out not too long ago. Originally, Kyle Dawkins was going to headline that 145 card. You and Richie now getting ready, being moved up. Now the main event. When you were told you're the main event on this one, was that pretty exciting?
Man, it's crazy. I wasn't even told. I was just looking at the UFC card and I had heard through prospect accounts that he might get called to the UFC, and I saw he did get called up, so I'm like, okay. I know we were the co-main, so I looked up to see who got moved up, and we got moved up to the main event. So yeah, beautiful. It was everything I wanted. So I have the platform to do what I do, and praise God.
Absolutely, man. You know, you're one of the most fun grapplers to watch on the regional scene, man. What I like about you is you're very technical with it, but you're always looking for the finish, man. You're not holding guys. You have that killer instinct. You're looking for the finish. How much pride do you take in your style?
Oh yeah, it's everything. I hate, I grapplers give us a bad name, give people like me a bad name. We get crotch sniffers, all that kind of stuff. Like, I hate being categorized like that. Like, if you watch my fights, I'm doing ground and pound, I'm looking for submissions, I'm nasty. So it's like, I don't want to be in the same class as that. Like, if you watch my fights, I'm exciting. Like, there's a reason people like to watch me. It's not just like your casual holding and praying, go to decision. That's not my style.
You know, you mentioned the term crotch sniffer, and, you know, that's something we hear from, you know, there's so many people watching the sport now. We have a term called the casual fan. And first off, you know, I
Hmm.
think all fans are good fans. There's nothing wrong with a bunch of eyeballs on the sport. But when you go to B dubs, you're in the cheap seats of the fight, you might hear twist them in the you know what, some crazy comments on Facebook, see some stuff on Instagram. For you, what do you make of all the nonsense sometimes? Do you get laughs out of it?
Honestly, I never got any negative feedback because all my fans. Well, right now I'm not too big, so like my fans are like my fans, so they appreciate what I do, and even like the people outside of my normal fan base, they appreciate what I do. They can see like I'm always pushing the pace. I'm always looking for the finish. I'm always aggressive, high pace, like even to my detriment sometimes. Like I'm gonna exhaust myself, and like I put myself into those trenches just to see who's going to survive in there. So, that's just how I fight.
Absolutely. You know, so many people are watching this in this day and age. And I think a lot of people, you know, they kind of get caught up. They see the big lights, they see the big names, the McGregors, the Joneses, the Habibs. They see the fame, the glory, the fortune, the money. They don't realize, man, battling on the regional scene is one of the hardest things anybody can do. A lot of guys have to have a 9 to 5 job. I mean, you're not making millions of dollars fighting on the regional scene. You miss birthdays, weddings, Thanksgivings, dinners. You stay up late. You wake up early. Some have a wife, some have kids, man. I mean, you're making sacrifices just maybe for the opportunity to fight in a big show. You've been doing this for a while. You've been making a name for yourself. You've been looking dominant every time you go out. But what's made you stick around and want to do this?
Man, honestly, I'm just blessed because like people be in this game for 15 years to get their shot to even get in a position where I'm at right now, let alone like the UFC. So it's like I've been fighting for 3 years, training for 4 years. So like my rise has been pretty fast. Um, I had one setback, but like I've always kept positive, always been on a positive trajectory, and I've always have confidence in myself. I train with UFC caliber people, with people that are bigger than me. So I know how good I am, and it's just all about opportunity. And once I get that opportunity, like my skills will say what they need to say.
You know, since your time competing, you fought on a bunch of different promotions, and you've been on some big ones. I mean, as an amateur, you fought on Cage Warriors, you fought on Dragon House, you fought on LFA. Now it would be CFFC. Is it pretty cool for you to be on all these big high level promotions?
Yeah, for sure. Like I've been a lifelong fan. Like I remember watching Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz back in the day when I was super young. Like I was watching UFC back in the day, and I've been a hardcore fan my whole life. So just like Dean Thomas is commentating this fight, so that's like huge. Just watching him for Dana looking for a fight, just watching. I like watched all these things, so just having someone like that commentate me, and he's really knowledgeable about MMA. So I'm really excited to have someone that's going to appreciate my style. And yeah, it's just great. I love this. So being able to do an interview like this, having someone care, it's just all a dream come true, blessings.
I've been watching MMA. When I really got into it, I think it was around 2005. It was that first season of The Ultimate Fighter. I remember watching it on
Hmm.
Spike TV when you had Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner was in there, Josh Koscheck that season, Chris Lieben. And, the sport at the time, man, like it wasn't legal in every state. People were calling it human cockfighting. If you told people you like the UFC, they're like, what the hell is wrong with you sometimes? And now we're at the point where it's as culturally accepted as any other mainstream sport. There's shows almost every week, and you have all these other big promotions out there. So many guys are getting opportunities. For you, are you surprised of how it exploded and evolved to what it is today?
Not really. I mean, I've always loved it. Like I've never, I was young, so I like didn't really get into the politics of like, oh, human cockfighting and all this. I just like loved it myself. And like I was just in my own space. I've always loved it. And I was just like, man, I love it so much. I know this like other people have to love this. And not everybody in my family loved it. And like I'm not like a big MMA family. But I just always loved it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. Like, it's a fight, people box, people do kickboxing, it's just putting it all together. So, yeah, I knew it was gonna blow up at some point.
It's kind of crazy. You mentioned you've only been training the sport for 4 years, 3 years now. Look where you're at, 5-1, could be 6-1 after this contest. I mean, potentially right in contender series, striking distance already. What's made that transition so smooth for you, man? What's made you adapt so quickly?
Just my mentality. Honestly, I hate to lose. I'm a worker. I just love to work. I love doing all the boring things that you need to do to be good. I do 6 mile runs every day just because I love to run. I've always loved to run. I love hard work. I love the results of everything. I just know what I've gotten out of everything, like my whole life, from other sports, from football to wrestling to anything I ever did. I just knew every time I would work hard, I'd get good results. And that just like instilled the discipline and desire to work. So it's just hard work every day, just doing it on my own, doing it with my coaches. Like when I'm not in the gym, I'm doing it at home. I'm doing research online, studying things, watching fighters. I would study every fighter on every card because I used to do MMA gambling too. So like I used to study all the fighters every card for like years. So like I've seen so much, just like what works, what doesn't work, so it's just like a lot of mental game, and then the physical aspect as well. But yeah, just hard work. I love to work. I'm just a workhorse, honestly, and it's paid off for me.
Do you think fighting is more mental than it is physical?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. If you're mentally weak, I know people that are the best in the gym. They're so good. Their reactions are great. They're just like, you'll watch them hit pads. You're like, wow, this guy's gonna be something special. And then they get behind the scenes. Like, I'm not gonna say names, but I've seen people in the back just having to get pep talks, like to get out there to go in the cage, like wondering if they're good enough. And it's just, that's never even crossed my mind. I just like have in my mind I'm gonna walk through whoever I go against, and I feel like that's a big thing for me. Like I make it so normal. I don't get tense. I don't get nervous. I know what I do in the gym. I know who I go against in the gym, and I know what I can do against those level of people. And I also know, just like from fighting, the people that I've beaten and knowing who they train with and who they've beaten in the gym. And I hear stories, we won't talk about gym stories, but just confidence from everything that I know personally. It just like rises my confidence every time. So just keep doing what I'm doing, and I know the results are just going to keep adding up.
So the last time you were out was just about a month ago, like literally close to right a month ago now. You took out Charles. You were able to finish him there. Standing rear naked choke there in the first round. Very beautiful work. Walk me through that finish, man. What were you seeing?
um I hit him. I was looking. I got on top, and I was looking to jump a guillotine, but my coach was telling me just take position, and I'm like, all right, I'll take position, because I was getting a little excited. I like to go for the finish, like I said. So I was like, all right, I'll slow play it a little bit. And right when I got on top, he gave me his back, and he just stood up when I got his back. And when I get people's back, it's like almost guaranteed you're gonna lose the fight. I'm aggressive. I'm gonna cover your mouth. I'm gonna do all kinds of dirty things to make you give up whatever I want to make you give up. So, I mean, he tucked his chin. I choked him over his chin, but I mean, he still went to sleep over the chin. I'm super strong. I'm super technical. So, no matter what you do, I'm going to find a way.
So this is going to be your third fight in about 4.5 months here. What is one of the reasons why you want to be so active?
It's a short shelf life, honestly. Like, I got into the game late. I'm healthy. As long as I'm healthy, I'm in shape. I made the choice where I'm like, I got to stay in shape all the time. There's not going to be like times where I'm going to be gaining weight and then an opportunity comes and I can't take it, or it's harder than it needs to be. So I just decided, I got about, who knows, maybe like eight years left in this game. So I just got to lock in, stay in shape, stay on my diet. And as long as I'm healthy, I could just keep going with these fights and it doesn't bother me.
So on August 30th, you're taking on another top prospect. You're taking on Mr. Richie Lewis. He's gotten a lot of hype, a lot of noise for good reason around himself as well. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
He's cool. He's cool. I mean, he's got some cool accolades. That's always cool. I always like taking people out with accolades. He's under 23 world champion in wrestling. I wrestled for 2 years, so I love when people look at what I've done and they just laugh at me and they think it's going to be a cakewalk. But when you get in there with me, you can feel it's a different level. It's a different level. It's not wrestling in there. It's MMA. You're going to get punched. He doesn't like to get punched. I'm going to put damage on him. I'm going to make it nasty. I'm going to put a pace on him. He goes against people that don't to make him scramble, that he can just stay in half guard and chill there. No one holds me down. So he's going to have to be active the whole time dealing with damage. And I'm excited to see how he deals with it.
I'm excited to see the contest. One thing I like about this one is two grapplers, but they're both very exciting and fun to watch. Could you see this one get very technical and almost like a chess match?
No, I'm going to run through him. I'm going in there and I'm going to try to make it look as easy as possible. I've gone against a bunch of killers that don't get recognition for some reason. People don't understand how good these people are that I'm beating. But this guy, former LFA champion, he has the accolades. So I need to go in there, make it look the way I can make it look. And then everybody's going to understand, like, there's levels. Like, I'm not your average person. I'm one of the best in the world right now. And I just needed that platform. I needed that big name that I can do what I do. And then everybody's going to open their eyes and be like, okay, yeah, this guy is the one.
Obviously, the main priority right now is obviously Richie on the 30th. But, with a win over Richie, you move to 6-1. And there's still 7 weeks left of the Dana White Contender Series. You'd have a 6-1 record. We're seeing guys up this year that are 5-0, 6-0, 6-1 on the show. In the mind out here, is a Contender Series a possibility?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get to the UFC as soon as possible. Whatever way, short notice fight, Contender Series, it doesn't matter to me. Obviously, I'd like the Contender Series because they build up the Contender Series fighters well, and they always talk about how their former champions come from there. So that's a good platform to start with. But any way I can get it, I'm honestly just focused on making this look as easy as possible. Go in there, show all my skills, because people think I'm just a specialist. Like, I'm not a specialist. Like, it just happens like that. Once in MMA, you clash bodies. And once I feel that I'm levels ahead of them in strength and the grappling aspect, it's just like, all right, I'm going to take the path of least resistance. But, I have hands, I have kicks, I have it all. So I'm hoping it gets to come out a little bit. I know he doesn't like to get hit, so I'm going to try to put hands on him. He's going to be diving. I might take a submission on him. We'll see what happens, what he gives me, but I'm not going to force anything. I've been going in there my last few fights wanting to strike, but it's just that the opportunity always presents itself. So, if I can make it easy, and I don't have to show everybody my full tools, then they can keep thinking I'm a specialist. And then once I get to the big show and I actually have to show it, then everybody's going to be real surprised when it happens.
For you, what's the ultimate goal? Where are you looking to accomplish in this sport?
as much as I can. And I'm not trying to lose again. So wherever that puts me, I got 8 years to run. Like I'm trying to get four fights a year at least for 8 years. So that's going to put me in a real good spot by the time I'm done. So, I have a good style. I don't take a lot of damage. Um, I stay healthy. I have a good mentality. I'm motivated. So, there's no limit on what I can do. I'm blessed. I've been praying. I've been asking. I put everything out there on what I want, what I'm asking for, and I've been getting it. I asked for platforms. I get this platform to get on this show alone was a huge thing for me. And then I got moved up to the main event, and it's just blessings on blessings, and it's just works out perfectly. And I know he's a man of God too, and I'm sure he's thinking like, "Oh, it's set up for me too." But no, it's not. It's set up for me, so I'm excited for this.
The Diaz brothers created a saying, and that was, you don't need to get ready when you stay ready. For you, it really seems like you live by this ideology. Is that kind of one of your big mentalities as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, definitely more recently too. Once I decided like, okay, I'm getting to a point where I'm getting these big opportunities. I know all the big shows are going to be coming. So I need to be on point. I need to be right on close to weight so I can be ready to make weight at any moment. Like this last fight, 12 days notice, I was able to make weight. I just locked in and just made sure I'm not messing around. I'm not going in to training and overdoing it, hurting myself. I'm being smart about everything. So yeah, just locked in and ready, and yeah, just ready for any opportunity. Honestly, it doesn't matter what comes. I'm just ready for whatever comes.
Absolutely. All right. Before we wrap up here, I want to go through some big UFC fights coming up. I want to get your predictions to see who you think are going to win some of these big contests. So we got a really fun one here. We got Gian Silva. He's fighting Diego Lopez. Who pulls that one out?
Man, that's crazy. Silva's so wild. So, but Diego comes out so hot. It's interesting. I feel like Diego might have like a little bit of a gas problem, maybe because he's so big. He's a big dude for 145. I'm not sure, but the fighting nerds are on fire. I'd probably go with Silva just because they break it down. I watch stuff on them too on how they break down all their fights and their opponents, and I really like how they go about it. And I'm sure Diego does the same things, but the fighting nerds are on a roll right now, so I'd go with Silva.
Another big one coming up. It's Merab Dvalishvili taking on Corey Sandhagen for that 135-pound title. Who wins that one?
Oh man, Marab's an animal. Marab's an animal. That's going to be a tough one to stop. And I mean, Sandhagen's dynamic for sure. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got good scrambling. He's got good gas tank. He definitely can make it scrappy and do a lot of things. He could do a lot of good things, but if I had to put my money on anyone, I'd definitely put it on Marab. He's got a chin. He's got the cardio. He's confident as can be. He's even in his striking he's just that pace, that pressure, that volume. It's just so much to handle. Like you can't get your own offense going with everything he puts at you. So yeah, it's hard to bet against him right now.
All right, the last one, big rematch. We got Alex Pereira Chama looking for that belt once again when he takes on Magomed Ankalaev, who wins it the second time around.
Oh man, I'd like Pereira to win just because I like Pereira. I like his story. I like how he came in and started running it. But that's so hard. It's so hard to go against someone that has good wrestling and good grappling. Like even though he didn't get a takedown his last fight, it's just like at any point, like if he does get a takedown and he starts putting a little damage against a striker, like that striking goes down levels, which is why my style is so bad for high level strikers. It's just like once you take them down and put some damage on them, they're not the same striker. There's not the same pop. There's not the same speed. So yeah, again, smart money, probably go Ankalaev, but I'd like Pereira to win that.
We just talked about some of the biggest names in the UFC right now. When you're watching the UFC fights, you see some of these names. Do you get fired up? Do they motivate you at all? Does this give you any inspiration?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a big fan of the sport, so I love what Ilya's doing. Huge. huge. Max over, you're trying to downplay what he does. I was dying seeing what Max was talking about, but Ilya's doing crazy things. That's definitely inspirational to see him doing his thing, knocking people out, going in there with confidence. Islam doing great things too, going up to go for the 170 belt. So yeah, my weight class is a killer weight class. That's why I like it. It's like you have to be skilled. It's like you can't get away with stuff like you can at heavyweight. Just like 155, I feel like is the perfect mixture of power and speed and technicality. So it's like I feel like that's the best weight class. That and 170 is like pretty up there for skill wise, but I feel like 55 is so deep with like just killers. So I'm definitely excited. I went against Salvador Becerra. I don't know if you looked into my record, but yeah, he went against Ignacio Bahamundes. So when I get into that when I get into the UFC, I definitely want to try my luck on him because Salvador took him out and I took Sal out. So I definitely want to get that in. And he's up there close to being ranked. So like I said, I know where the levels are. Like people don't understand what I've done and the people I've beaten. So once they start seeing and really digging deep into what I've done, it's gonna be a show.
Absolutely. All right, Benny, last question for you, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome August 30th when you make your CFFC debut against Richie Lewis?
Man, I mean, ideally I go in there, put him to sleep, put him to sleep on the feet. Honestly, that'd be ideal for me because everybody knows what my grappling's about. Everybody knows I'm world class in grappling. My wrestling's on point. I go in there and put hands on him. And no disrespect, even though it's a little disrespectful. Like Richie is definitely more in that crotch sniffer area. Like he's trying to hold you down. He doesn't go for submissions. He doesn't go for too much ground and pound. Like man's gone 5 rounds 2 different times. Like he's not going for the finish the way I do. So I know the higher ups would definitely like to see me take someone out like that. Like I'm a real contender. I'm a real killer. I'm really doing damage out here. So, just showing those levels. So, that would be a blessing for sure to put him out on the feet. But like I said, I'm not going to force anything. Whatever comes. But yeah, definitely ideal. I put him out on the feet.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Benny, man, thank you so much for taking the time of your day to talk to me. Really excited for the fight, and I wish you nothing but the best, my friend.
For sure. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That's it for us today. I'm Carl Perez. He's Mr. Benny Orozco. Watch him August 30th, taking out Richie Lewis, CFFC 145. Take care, fight fans.